Have you faced similar situations like after choosing a Webflow template, wondering where to start, how to edit efficiently, and how to launch your Webflow website as soon as possible? Let's dive in and customize a Webflow template the right way. Hi, I'm Ansif, Webflow expert, and I run a Webflow agency called VictorFlow. After working on numerous client projects in the past few years by customizing the Webflow templates, we have gained an extensive experience. I'm happy to share all of that in this one video. For that, we set out standard procedures of 5 simple and effective steps for making the project successful by customizing the Webflow template. Those are preparations, design and branding, content organize, functionality and testing, and finally finalization and launch. Let's get into the video by following these steps one by one. Let me show you the final results first so that you can see how I made the improvements. For this video purpose only, I just choose this website randomly so that I can able to show you how we implement this website to Webflow template. So here you will see how this design is made. They are doing business owner consulting service, and the content you can see that is not separated or highlighted in any way, just using the paragraph as a p tags, and they are a little bit highlighting the services by adding the layout in 3 column in the images, heading and content, and you see they just listed in a bullet points for their featured services. These all are important services, but they just added in the bullet list, and they have worked with a bunch of clients. They just put the logo, but there is no link on it or any other standalone layout structure on it. And here you will see the important section. They impacted $13 million and also 511 jobs in their industries, but the highlight is not done effectively. While you are saying it, it should be some of the contact info or the CTA in it, but there is no CTA on here. So normal visitors will not convince to give their informations to direct them as a lead in our website. And you see just scrolling, they just used some of the images and the bullet points. Finally, the one CTA and footer with the basic information, just an email and their address. So that we analyzed the whole website in the first page itself. It is not that much effectively done in the normal user perspective. By comparing other side in this Webflow template white color, you see how well organized it is. We can able to show some of the awards, and we can able to prioritize the contents in a design hierarchy method so that users can focus on one thing at first and they will focus on important structure only. While I am scrolling, you see how the values are differentiated here comparing the previous section, so that we can utilize in this section, and also we can able to utilize this particular CTA sections. We can able to show the real results to the normal visitors, so they will get a temp to enter the details, converting a normal visitors to the leads. So by analyzing in 5 minutes itself, that you can able to understand how important it is to structure the layouts and also choosing the right Webflow template for your business website. Now let's get into the steps. The first step, as I mentioned, it's a preparation step. So the preparation steps is only valid for existing website, not for the new websites. So if you are going to build new website and a new custom domain, then you can skip this process. So in this preparation step, what we are going to do is getting a sitemap URL structure. So for that, I'm going to enter sitemap.xml. In most of website, it is going to have the sitemap XML. You just need to enter sitemap.xml at the end of current website URL. Properly built websites should have the sitemap XML in it. This is the way of showing to the search engines these are all the pages we have in our website, so that we can get listed on the search engines. In this case, I see the sitemap in this website, which is a good sign. So for that one, we just need to find the URLs of the existing pages. To see the pages URL, you just find log tag, LOC log tag. So I'm just searching from here. You see that we have a 6 log tags, which means 6 pages in this website. So I'm going to copy and paste into the notepad. So I have done that process. Since it's a simple website, it has only 6 pages from the existing website. For this case, I just used a Sublime Text as a one code editor, but you can utilize the notepad. So I'm going to remove log tag by selecting and removing it, so that we will get only exact URLs of it. For this case, they just use the home as a home page, so I'm going to remove the home. So these are the final pages they have in their website, which may listed on the search engines. So we have to copy all of these pages, and we can able to create a Google sheet from it. So for that, I'm going to use the sheets.google, create a new blank sheet. So I am going to paste all of the copied URLs in this first column. The reason why I pasted all of the links after the second row is we are going to build the header section here. So for that one, I'm just mentioning sitemap URLs, and you can double click in here so that it will expand till the finishing width, and I'm going to change the row color here, and I'm going to grab this handle to here. So while we scroll, it should be a sticky header. I'm going to select and make it the bold, and I'm going to select all to make the alignment. I'm just doing a little bit Google Sheet customization here in order to stand out properly. Next thing is we have to discuss with the client like they need some of those particular pages or not by migrating the old website to the new website. So I am going to use needed or not in this column, and I'm going to insert drop down list. So for here you will see we are going to do yes, it is needed, or no, it's not needed. So I'm going to put some of the visual things, and you can add one more option called new page. So I'm going to change the colors of it, and I'm hit enter. You can grab this dot and click and drag, so it will replicate all the exact drop downs to all URL pages. So I'm going to see, for example, these all are pages needed, theme page needed, and this page needed, and contact page needed, and this one is needed. For some reason, if client don't want this particular page means you can make it no for it. Okay, so after discussing with client, if they want a new page means you can add that here too. About us, services. So for this case we just use the about us and services for it. And since it is a new page, we can click and drag for it and select it's a new page. So we don't need to worry about the new page, but the URL structure we have to follow is here. On the next column, we can focus on 301 redirect, which means if existing page is no needed for the new website, then we have to do the proper redirect, because this particular URL should be available on anywhere in the search engines, right? So that we have to do the proper redirect process. In this case, if this particular page is loaded means which page we have to do the redirect after we launching this new website on Webflow. So for this case, if they want to redirect to the home page means I just add a slash. So whenever someone clicks this particular URL, they will get redirected to the home page in the new website. So we done a proper planning for our pages. So let me rename the document here. Since it is a preparation one for this particular website, I'm just renaming it here. You have to give a proper name for this Google Sheet so that you can able to find later on. Then I'm going to add a new page called backup, and we can rename this one as a sitemap. This backup sheet is nothing but we are going to give a date, and also we are going to paste the URL from the Google Drive, the backup files. Okay, so I'm going to add backup date. Next is backup files. So I'm going to expand a little bit here and put the handle here. So it will be a sticky. And I'm going to add color here, little bit customization. You can just enter the date here. So when double clicking, you will see the date format is already selected. For a backup files, you can use any online storage services like Google Drive. I'm just utilizing the Google Drive as the project start backup zip files. The same goes for other two. For example, if you are coming from the WordPress, then it should be a PHP file, or it should be overall images and any other assets that has in the previous website, right? If you're going to add a new backup and a new date, then you can just select and copy and paste and change the URL of it. For this case, I'm just utilizing this separation. So that's all about the preparation step. So we did the sitemap proper URL structure, and we just discussed with the client about what are the new pages and existing pages need to remove, which page we have to redirect for it. We took the proper backup and pasted that file URLs in the same Google Sheet so that you can maintain the centralized Google Sheet for your project. Next, design and branding. For that, you have to ask a client if they are going to do the rebrand or using the existing brand guideline itself. They are going to use the existing brand guidelines means we can able to get the colors, typography settings from the current website itself. You may ask if they have a proper PDF file of brand guideline and the original logo source files. If they don't have it means you can able to easily find, as I said, from the current website itself. Based on that, here is the style guide I extracted from the current website. You can see the color palette, heading, paragraph, list, block code, font settings, and buttons. You may have one question while I am showing this Figma version, which is where do I get the template Figma version? For that, I recommend you to check with the sales page itself of that particular Webflow template. While scrolling, you may find some of the sections they may explain pre-Figma file, or you can able to find their contact information from the exact same page itself like this one, or you can click that particular creator name, then you will redirect to their separate profile page. There you can able to find their website and click the contact us. From the website you can able to easily find the contact contact informations, right? So from there, you can ask a pre-sale question. You may choose multiple templates for a reference, but you can ask a pre-sale question at first to make sure that you are going to get a Figma version after you purchase a template. In most cases, all template creators will provide a free Figma file if you share a purchase receipt to them in the email response. So once you get a Figma file, you can import that Figma file into your Figma account and change the color values from here. So I request you only edit the changes in the Figma for the style guide page only. Apart from the style guide page, you no need to change color values, font settings in the Figma for other pages. Instead, we are going to change these colors, font settings on the Webflow itself. So once we change in one area in a Webflow, then it will affect all the pages in the Webflow itself. As you can see in this Figma version, I just did a little bit changes from their real website. So I just pasted the same content and organized the content little bit so that we can able to visualize how we are going to utilize the sections from this particular template to match if this template is going to be perfect fit or not. Once you purchase a template, you will find that particular project in your Webflow account. First thing you have to do is renaming this project. So I'm going to do the rename process. So open this project by clicking the open designer button. Once it's opened, you will see the exact same version of that particular template live preview inside the designer panel. Before doing anything in this particular template, I recommend to go to settings, backups, and take a new backup. For here, I'm going to enter a proper descriptive name for this particular backup. So I'm going to enter before template customization as a backup name. So from this list, you can able to find easily if anything goes wrong, means you can able to easily restore backup from here. Apart from that, Webflow does the proper automatic backup on each time, but the automatic backup is just mentioning the time name of it. If you are mentioning the proper name as a backup, then you can able to understand what's this backup purpose for, right? So the next step is start doing the real customization process. For that, click this page icon and search for a style guide. It will open the style guide like what we see in the Figma version. So we are going to change this color palette and font settings of this paragraph and heading tags, so it will affect all pages in this project. For the colors, click the box and scroll down a little bit until you see the background color. In most cases, you can able to click edit option and change the color from here. While doing this customization process, please make sure that you are in the base breakpoint. If not, please select it and customize it from there. You can able to change the color palette from clicking this icon and change the color values from here itself, or you can able to change it from the variables. You can see the primary color and secondary color and some of important colors that is used in this template. So let me go to the Figma file first and click this particular box, and you can able to find the color from here. Go back to the Webflow designer panel, click this input and paste the new color code and hit enter. That's all. So total color of the primary color throughout the website project is changed. Next is secondary color. So I am just doing the same process for applying all colors. So once you paste all the color, then close this variable panel and you will see all color is applied here. Then next is font settings. For here, you will see the font family is Jost, bold and 64 H1 tag. So let me apply the same settings here in Webflow for H1 tag. Make sure you selected the heading one, and most important step to select here is selecting all H1 headings. So it will affect throughout the website wherever H1 tag is. If it is not blue, then that is not right way to customize these tags. So I'm going to select a H1 tag again. You can see how the settings labels are changed in an orange color comparing the blue color previously without the proper style selector. So I'm going to choose again proper style selector and going to choose the font. Currently it is not available. Since it is a new font, we have to add the Jost font inside this project. I'm going to click the add font. It will redirect to the project settings page in a fonts tab. From there, you can click and search Jost font for it. For now, I'm going to use one regular and one bold font. Later, you can able to change it whichever variations you want. So I click add font button and back to the designer. I close the tab and reload the designer panel here. So I'm going to replicate the same step by choosing the H1 tag and select the style selector. In the font list, now you can able to see the Jost font. So I'm going to select, and from here, instead of the 45, our brand guideline is 60 pixels for the font size. I'm changing it. I'm going to replicate the same process for all headings, paragraphs and block quote. On each step, don't forget to select style selector to that particular tag. So it will change on a site by. In a H2, it's a 40 bold Jost font. H3, 35 bold. For the paragraph, I see the same font and same value, so I am not going to change the paragraph for it in this case. For the block quote, there are changes in a background and font style as an italic. So I'm going to click the block quote and select all block quotes. So it will affect all the block quotes in the website. Instead of the primary color, it's a dark background, so I am going to choose the dark background for it. For the border color, I am clicking the top and select the primary color. And next is a font color, so I'm going to choose the white color for it. and the font style is italic. And the next important element is button. You can see there is a small and large buttons with a multiple color variations. And one thing I see in this button, there is a green button as a class name. We changed the color palette. To reduce the confusion, I'm going to rename this button class. For that, I'm going to use the primary button as a class name. Same for large button. So I'm going to rename. So the renaming process is done. We are going to use the dark version and the normal blue version and light version of it. For others, I'm just keeping it as it is. So from here, we changed the overall color palette and font settings throughout the website. Next thing is to go to the home page to see how it is affected properly or not. As you can see here, the font settings is applied and the colors in most cases is applied. Only thing we have to change a little bit in some sections, particularly this section. So you can see how we work section. The background color is not that much intuitive. So I'm going to select the darker version of it. So let me go up and you see how it will look like in the normal desktop view. That is fine. And I'm going to change this button to primary button so that it will look good on this particular section. Also in this particular little dot is not that much effective with the secondary color, so that I'm going to choose the primary color for it. Apart from that, everything is just straightforward. I'm just to click the enlarged version of the website to see how it will look like in a large screen also. In the bottom left and right, you see some of the promotional banner inside this template. I'm going to click and delete it. So we deleted it. The next thing is I'm going to click this play icon and change the color because it does not match properly. So I'm going to choose the primary color for it. Now it's good. So we did some basic initial step customization process. The next thing is we're going to rename this project and also the slug. For this case, it's just a template name. So I'm going to change this particular project name, click save and go to publishing tab. From here, you can able to rename the staging domain. So before sharing this URL to client, you are going to rename the process of the staging domain so that it will be a well organized one. For this case, I'm just doing the SBC consulting. So click save. It will redirect the whole project since we changed the main URL structure of this project, right? Once that is done, please make sure to publish that particular staging domain to the live. By clicking the URL, you can able to see the changes that we made. Now I back to designer panel. Since it is an image, it is not affected by the color change that we did in this previous step. So what I am going to do is changing the color of the icon from the Figma file and export it and replace the icon image here. So here in the Figma file, you can see we changed the icon colors to primary color. So I select the group of that particular icon and export it from here as an SVG format. And I am renaming it properly as a map icon. Doing the same for all icons throughout this website page. Once the export is done, we are going to replace that icon here. For in this tab bar, you will see it is a component. So I'm going to double click again and also double click again to choose the particular icon and replace the image from here. It is a map icon, so I'm going to select the map icon. Same for the email icon. So we just updated the icons tab bar of the website. Next is main logo, header logo and footer logo. From here we have a source file of the logo. So I'm going to replace the logo from here to here. So since it is also a common header, once we change it in one area, then it will affect throughout the website. So we replace the logo of the header and click outside. So it should be on all other pages. And for the footer, I'm just clicking again. Since it is a component, I'm going to double click and select white version of the logo. Previously uploaded logo is a black version. So I'm going to upload a white version of a logo only for the footer. So the white version is updated. And you can see the same for these icons too. I'm going to replace. So the proper icon is placed here throughout the website since it's a component. Once those important changes are done, please make sure to publish on our staging domain. So the second step of template customization as design and branding is done. So the next step is content organize. In this step, we are going to do the pages list. Not all the pages needed from this particular template. Instead, we are going to focus only the pages that needed for this project. As you know that already we done a preparation step in the Google Sheet, right? So we are going to take the page reference from there and only keep the page needed for this project in this particular template. Next, we are going to create a common components and managing the variables if needed. Then finally, in this step, we are going to do the demonstration purpose of how client can able to edit the content and images so that it will be ready for the launch. So let's get into the process for it. You can see in this template, it has a lot of pages already, but we don't need all of the pages in this project. Let me go to the preparation sheet. Here we have a bunch of pages like a team, about us, services, so on. For the home URL, it is just a front page, but for the team, about us, services and other pages, we have to rename it properly for the slug. So for the team, you can see it's just a /team. So let me go to the pages list. You see this template has our team. So let me select the slug and remove our, and also doing the same for here to save. And for the about us and services, going to do the same. About us slug is already there. It is fine. So let me rename our services as services. So renaming it and also renaming the page name. So that's all. So once you created a proper slug structure, then the next step is to put the draft for no needed pages. So let me go to the style guide. This one we don't want to show outside, right? So I'm just putting as a draft. You no need to worry. This will be still on this designer panel. Whenever you need, you can just utilize it. Apart from that, we don't need to show this style guide page in the Google search results, right? So that I'm just putting the style guide as a draft mode. For organizing everything in better way, I'm going to create a folder for it as a draft backup pages. So going to create a folder for it. Once done, click the settings icon of the style guide page and move that parent folder to draft backup pages. I'm going to do the same for license page too. Same for changelog and other pages like services single, project, pricing. If you don't want that, you can also keep the same for the draft and putting inside the folder. So as you can see, we just organize the pages in a better way. And also if you want, you can just click this handle to drag wherever you want. So you can able to prioritize which pages you are doing the continuous editing process. That's all about the page organized process. Next is component creation process and also managing variable. For example, if you're going to use this exact client logos in a multiple pages at the same time, means it is better to create a component. So I'm going to select the whole section by selecting client section, right click to create a component. So I'm going to create a proper name of it as a component/client logo. So we have created this component. You can easily add by going different pages. For example, in this case, I'm going to about us page. So let's drag client logos component under this section. So I'm going to select the body tag and you can just click the component and click and drag to this particular section. So it will place properly under this particular section. So in this case, whenever you're going to edit the client logos, it will affect wherever these components are placed in multiple pages. And also, please make sure to remove all promotional banner from this template by just click and delete, click and delete, click and delete. That's all. Same for all subpages too. Next, let's create a proper variable structure. For in this list, you can just click the name and enter the colors and slash, so that it will arrange properly in a variable folder structure. So I'm going to copy this structure and place it like this one. Next, let's create a multiple font sizes. By clicking new variable and click size, you can enter a folder structure as a font size /small. Here you can see I'm entering a 18 pixel. Same for medium as 22 and large as 28. Next, you can able to create a primary font and secondary font by clicking a font family here, font/primary font, so that it will create a font folder. Selecting Jost as a primary font, next variable will be secondary font. That will be an inter font family. So we have organized variables in a better way. So you can utilize these variables wherever you want throughout this project. For just an example, I am going to show you how you can apply the variables, particular section titles of each section instead of affecting throughout the website H2. You already see it has a section title. Same for this title too. So you can see the section title is same for throughout the pages section title. I don't want to affect all H2s throughout the website. Instead, wherever section title is a style selector class name, then this particular variable should be affected. So I'm going to scroll down and make sure that you choose base breakpoint. So I'm going to click the plus icon from here. From here you can able to choose primary font. So whenever you are going to change the variable site-wide, it will affect all the areas. So you can see here, whenever I am selecting a same section title class name, you will see that primary font is selected. This is how easy it is if you manage the variables very well. Next, we can focus on the content and image replacement by educating client. For that, there is a two way to utilize it. First one, to use the editor mode from this editor link. So by clicking that particular editor link, it will open the exact same site but with a bottom bar of editing option. You see at the bottom, it has a pages, collections, forms and settings and more. But whenever you hover over the particular title or the images, then you can able to find there is an icon to replace it. For now, I am going to change this particular title by copying from the existing website. So I'm just copying and going to select all and paste it. This is how easy it is from the client perspective. They can able to update the content and the images from their end without our help. So for the subheading, I'm just copying it and pasting inside this section. So design will not break, only the content will replace whatever the content we type. So once that is done, then we can able to publish it from here. So in that way, we can speed up the process by finishing the real content work and also the image replacement work from the client side. Even beginner level user can able to update the content and images using this editor mode. Once everything is done, then they can able to publish from here. So that's all about the content organized step. In this step, we covered page structure, put the backup pages in a draft mode, we managed the components and created a proper organized variables and applying it, and finally we showed the client how they can able to edit the content and images. Then let's move on the next step called functionality and testing. In this fourth step, we are going to cover basic form settings, Webflow's audit panel, responsive and performance check. Let me open a designer panel here by starting from basic form settings, going to the contact us page because it has a form. So I am going to contact page, click any of the fields from here and click the settings tab. You will see the name of the form, which is really important. If you have a multiple forms in your website, please make sure to name it properly from this field. I'm going to explain why it is important upcoming steps. Then please make sure that your text field renamed properly, because in most of the time it may ended up with the numeric words like your name 1, your name 2, your name 3 and like so. It is not that much descriptive and also will not look professional when you receive an email from a user, right? So that you have to enter a proper name for each field. So while you're receiving an email, you will get a proper structure. For here, you see it's already named properly for all of these fields. Only thing I want to change here is updating this button. So I am going to remove the large button. Instead, I am going to put the primary large button in it. So that's the basic check for the form settings. I'm going to publish it and click the project settings. Just go to the site settings. We will see how the form will look like. We have to enter a proper form settings in this form tab. So let me open the form tab. Here I recommend 3 important fields you have to focus on. First one is which email you are going to receive when someone submit the form, right? So I'm going to enter a sample email address here. Next is subject line. It is important to enter a proper details in the subject line from here, so you can able to organize all emails well. So for here I am going to enter this value, which is new form name submission from site name, which means new contact form submission from site name. Did you remember that I mentioned about the form name is really important while we selecting the form fields, right? That particular form name is going to place in this location, and also the site name meant this particular site name. In your Webflow account, if you have a multiple active websites, then this site name should be segregated properly in your mailbox so that you will know from which website in which form it is coming from. Next is reply to address. Here you see I entered a name and email. It will be useful when you click a reply button from the particular email response. So the name and email will place automatically to the to address. So once you made these changes, make sure to click save button so all of the settings will be saved. That's all about the form settings. If you want a more spam related settings, then you can able to check reCAPTCHA and spam filtering options, and you can able to do multiple integration. That's all about the form settings. Next, let's move on the audit panel. By opening the designer mode, at the bottom left corner, you see audit panel. Currently, we don't have any issue, which is good sign. But if you have any issue, means it should show on this list. But you need to worry, everything will be easy to fix. Just like in missing alt text for particular images, skipping heading level and duplicate ID. These are the simple things we can able to fix it easily. For example, I am going to show you how it will look like by removing the alt text from this particular image. As soon as I remove the alt text from this particular image, you see that icon is turned to the red, and also it explains what is the issue and where that particular issue is happening. So by clicking that arrow, you will see this image is automatically selected so that you can able to enter a proper alt text for this particular image. I am going to paste the same alt text to fix the issue. As soon as I enter, issue is all cleared. So once audit panel check is done, you can push to live. Next is responsive. Since we did a minimal change, only the image replacement, content replacement, styles guide and applying a variables, the responsive should be okay in most cases. So just to make sure if responsive is good or not, by clicking each of this icon so that we can able to see all sections are arranged well as like the template. In most cases, responsive will be fine if you edit in this proper way. If not, then there will be an issue in a multiple screens you have to focus on. For now, since we did a proper customization process, there is no major change or major issue happened in a responsive. But it's good to include responsive step while checking the template. Once the responsive fixes is done, then please make sure to publish. Once it's published, our next step is to check page performance. You can check page performance from the Google Chrome itself. Just copy this URL, open it in the new private window and click Inspect Element. There you will see Lighthouse. You can select a desktop for now and click Analyze Page Load button. It will do multiple reloads and put our website in a stress test to make sure the test is done properly. As you can see here, all the results are green, which is really good. Since we customized in a proper way, it took all advantage from the template. So the performance score is 98, accessibility 92, best practices and SEO is 100. But if you have any issues, it may show like orange circle or red circle. For that case, while you scroll, you will see more details and how to fix it. If you don't have any specific idea about the issue that is mentioned here, then you can just copy and paste into the Google search to find what the solution will be. Based on that, you can able to fix all of those issues easily. Let me show you the other option to test the performance score, which is Page Speed Insight. So once you search it on a Google, you will find this particular URL. By clicking it, you have to enter a URL of your staging website and click Analyze. In this step, in a desktop version, all will be same as a Lighthouse score. But for the mobile, even in a corporate level website, it will not get the green results in most cases. But we no need to worry for this particular case. But if you are willing to do more further optimization process, as I said earlier, you can able to get all the issues from this list. You can able to search it on a Google to fix the issues effectively. Apart from that, all other scores in the desktop and mobile, good score results. That's all about the fourth step of functionality and testing. In this step, we learned about form settings, audit panel, responsive check and performance check. Let's move to the fifth and final step, finalization and launch. In this step, we are going to do some of the basic site settings for preparing a final launch. Example like updating favicon, 301 redirect and SEO optimization process. For that, let me open the site settings page. Here you see we have a templates favicon. We are going to update it to our current website logo. For that, you can take the logo just for this particular box. I'm going to group it and make it a separate Figma frame for only this icon. Once it's export and saved in your local computer, then you can come into the website called cloudconvert.com. From here, you can able to select whichever font from the convert to whichever format. For this case, we are going to convert to WebP from PNG format. So we have to select file here and do the next steps to convert it properly. So I already did the conversion. So I'm going to select 32 into 32 icon and also 256 web clip image format. So as you can see here, we updated the favicon. Then the next thing is 301 redirect. Remember that we did an initial process step for doing a 301 redirect for a particular page, right? If you have a multiple page, please collect them and we can update it all at once in the publishing settings. In this case, we are going to redirect this particular URL slug to the home page. For that, I am just copying that slug and opening into the notepad and remove the initial URL. So this is the exact URL we want to redirect to the home page, right? So I am going to copy, go to the publishing settings. Currently, we don't have any site plan on it. That is why 301 redirect settings is not available here. But I will show you how it will look like in an active site plan project. So this is how it will look like. For example, I am going to enter a old path here and entering the new path in the right side. If it is a redirect to the main home page, then you have to enter only one slash. Once entered, click Add Redirect Path button. After adding all the pages that you have collected only for 301 redirect, make sure to publish it to the main domain. So these settings will be saved. Next is SEO tab. So for here, you will see we have to disable this particular option. So the staging domain will be not out for the search engine results. So I'm click the save for it. And the next robots.txt is not available in the settings since we need a site plan for it. As usual, I'm going to show you the existing site plan project. So for here, we entered a user agent star sign and also disallow style guide page. This means the style guide will not get indexed by the search engines. Why we are doing here in this particular project is because this particular project they need a style guide page just for their internal team purpose to visit it. So for that case, we have not put that style guide page as a draft mode. Instead, we just disallowed that particular page by getting indexed by the search engines. Next one is a sitemap. Please make sure to enable it because it will automatically generate a sitemap for us whenever you are going to create a new page or updating existing pages slug. For this step alone, I am going to show you how our current sitemap will look like. As you know that already, if you are going to enter a sitemap.xml after the main URL, it is going to give a result of available pages in this project. This is the exact page list also get listed on the search engines in future. So now you know the reason why we did the draft page and organize them in a draft folder on the third step of the process, as in the content organize. This is the exact reason. Since we doesn't need that page, we put those pages in a draft mode. That is why it is not getting listed in this sitemap, which is really important step. And the next is Google site verification step, which is a Google search console. You can see here there is a learn more link that you can able to learn more about that particular service, what it does, how to get the Google site verification ID from the link. Once you enter a verification ID, Google Search Console verify your website and ownership. This particular Google Search Console service will be good for monitoring your website on the search engines. Like if your website or pages is having any warning or errors, then you will get notified in that particular admin email, so that you can continually monitoring your website on the way. Next is global canonical tag URL. For this one, I'm going to enter the exact same URL that is going to be published. In this field, you have to enter final custom domain URL properly. For example, if it is example.com, you have to enter in a proper way like this. Don't enter anything like extra slash. Instead, you just remove it. Just enter till the .com or top level domain. So you can read the purpose of this canonical tag from this description itself. So the purpose is which URL to be indexed and avoids duplicate content. Once entered all details, please make sure to hit save and publish to staging domain. Next, let's check SEO title tag and meta description for each pages by opening the designer panel. So go to pages and click settings. You will see the title tag and meta description. So please make sure to enter a proper title tag for this project and meta description. And finally, open graph settings. You can repeat the same from the title tag and meta description. And you have to paste the URL for the preview image. For this, I usually recommend to take the first fold screenshot from your updated website and upload inside Webflow assets folder, grab the URL and paste it here. For each and every pages, you can use the same common image from the home page first fold screenshot. Once updated, please make sure to update each and every pages by clicking the settings icon next to it. Finally, there is a dynamic value you should aware of from the CMS page. For example, here in this blog page, you see the title tag is entered properly here. So it's getting title value from each blog titles. If I click next and previous button, you see how it is changing dynamically, right? But you can always update static values from here. Like I selected, you can just enter your own business name and business purpose. And for the meta description, you can remove and update post summary or any short content if you have that already in your CMS. Scroll down to see open graph settings. You can use the same from the above and select open graph image as a dynamic featured image uploaded in that particular blog. You can change multiple posts by clicking next and previous icons so that you can able to see how dynamically it is updating the images, title and description. Once everything is updated, please make sure to hit save button and publish to staging domain. To make sure the updated settings working perfectly for the SEO title tag, meta description and preview image, you can check in this particular website called opengraph.xyz. In this website, I am going to paste the staging URL of the home page, then hit the check website. You can see the preview on the right side, how it will look when we use this particular website URL on our Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and Discord. Same for other platforms too. Like if you're going to share in a WhatsApp or the Slack, then you will get the same preview image, title and meta description. So finally, we did all 5 steps in this process to customize the Webflow template effectively. As you can see here, left side is our customized template and right side is an old website. I hope I explained everything well, but if you have any specific feedback on this first video, please make sure to enter your valuable comment in this comment section. I hope you get some value out from this video. If you want to learn more anything about from this particular space of Webflow template and Webflow customization, let me know in the comment section and I'm happy to address all of them in future videos. Hopefully you get some values from this video. If so, please make sure to subscribe and hit like, turn on notification to get notified on the right time. I'm more happy to see you on the next video. Thank you.